Kensan ditit ore alo, Kensan wrote nale vyat, Kensan maschut ushlaj talo, Kensan papir ge halo khet. The same concept was being preached by REHIM SAHAB SOPORI, where he refers ki kench gafil kench vatit, Kensan karun hasil mukam, Kensan hisab shu danas yishu mastanas panastam. So the century of the REHIM SAHAB SOPORI or the other Sufis like I.C.H.R, Sachkral, Krishnju Razdan or Prakash Ram or others, 17th, 18th, 19th century were the
Assalamu alaikum Nazreen. Today we have a special guest with us, Dr. Haroon Rashid, who will speak about famous Sufi saint REHIM SAHAB SOPORI. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Thank you so much, Marajin, for having me here.
Sir, first of all, introduce himself.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me here. My name is Dr. Haroon Rashid. I recently completed my PhD on the intellectual history of ancient Kashmir. And today we are here at the tomb of a famous 18th-19th century Sufi saint REHIM SAHAB SOPORI.
Tell us something about the REHIM SAHAB SOPORI.
Okay, I'll just try to contextualize the famous personality of REHIM SAHAB SOPORI. As we all know that Kashmir has been a cradle of the Syncretic or the composite culture throughout its history, of whose traces we get even in the ancient times as well. And Syncretic culture was that culture where which preached the brotherhood, peace, love among different communities, be it like Hindus, Muslims, and the people of other faiths. And Kashmir has been a famous place for the same. And this syncretic culture or composite culture in our local slang, in Kashmiri slang, is called as Kashrut. And different categories of people, they were promoting this syncretic culture of Kashmir or Kashrut or Kashmiriyat. And one of the categories was that of the Sufis and the Rishis. And most of the scholars write that this tradition started with 14th and 15th century famous saints like Laldet and Nundrish. And as Laldet was a Shaivite thinker, and in her poetry that we call as a Vaq, one will often find the words like Muslim or like the Kalma. For example, Laldet, while preaching the syncretic culture, she says, Shivshi thali thali ravzan, mozan hyuntai Musalman, trukai chuk pan panun parzan, yishe sahzi zan suzan. Similarly, Nundrish was a famous Muslim saint. While referring to syncretic culture, often we'll find in his shruks the words like Shiv or Shunya. For example, he says, Puzyud bozak paans numrak, natamaz numrak dabak namaz. Shivast Shunis Yud Mul Karak Sedio Soshia Slivantar Namaz. So this syncretic culture or this composite culture of Kashmir was being carried forward by the other Sufi rishis like, and famous we have I.C.H.R, we have Sachkral, we have Krishnju Razdan, we have Prakash Ram, and many others. So one among those was the REHIM SAHAB SOPORI, who was born in the 18th century. We have exact date of 1775, and then he passed away in 1850, which is about the 19th century. So REHIM SAHAB SOPORI was a famous Sufi of the Qadriya order who preached a syncretic culture which was being preached by Laldet and Nundrish. For example, before the Islam, we have a famous tradition of Kashmir Shaivism, and that was a very inclusive, which does not believe in caste, idol worship, or it did not believe in the discrimination of the people on the name of religion. So while Kashmir Shaivism talks about how to reach the God, Kashmir Shaivism talks about the four ways. One is Anav Upay, another is Shambhav Upay, the third is Shakto Upay, and fourth is Anu Upay. While referring these four Upayas or four ways, the Laldet in the vernacular slang says Kensan ditit ore alo, Kensan wrote nale vyat, Kensan maschut ushlaj talo, Kensan papir ge halo khet. The same concept was being preached by REHIM SAHAB SOPORI, where he refers ki kench gafil kench vatit, Kensan karun hasil mukam, Kensan hisab shu danas yishu mastanas panastam. So the century of the REHIM SAHAB SOPORI or the other Sufis like I.C.H.R, Sachkral, Krishnju Razdan or Prakash Ram or others, 17th, 18th, 19th century were those centuries in Kashmir who were politically unstable, where communal harmony, that syncretic culture, there were certain forces who tried to dilute that, and where the communal identities were getting sharp. So these saints like REHIM SAHAB SOPORI, they preach it through their kalam. That syncretic culture, where you will find in their poetic compositions the word like Shiv, like Pran, like Shastra, and where their poetry was itself a composite poetry where they preached love, brotherhood, peace among the different communities. And coming from a background of those who were weaving the shawls and have not been properly educated, but the depth of his poetry was so much that one of the famous writers, Zarif Ahmad Zarif, says that the poetry of Raheem Sopori is spiritual in its nature. It's not something an ordinary man can speak about. So, for example, when the Raheem Sopori was being taught that was being asked that you come from an uneducated background and sometimes used in your poetry the words like Shiv, like the Prana or the Shastra. Well, Sanskrit words were there. So he says that I'm not educated, but these are the Shastra which comes from the above. So the need of the hour is that the Kashmir, since ancient times, was famous for its composite culture, which was preached by the saints of Hinduism and Islam together. And these religious places, these shrines, these tirthas, were actually acting as a defensive wall to Kashmir. And these people who were coming from Hindu-Muslim backgrounds, and they preached a common way of syncretic culture among the different communities in Kashmir. That's why Kashmir was famous for its love, brotherhood, peace, which we in the academic slang called as Kashmiri. So the need of the hour is to come to these places, know about those people who shaped the syncretic culture of Kashmir, who shaped our real identity, and to work on that track which was shown by our Sufis and Rishis is the need of the art to attain peace, love, brotherhood in Kashmir. So this was all about, and my request would be that whenever you come to Sopor, make a visit. If you come to Sopor for any work or to meet somebody, do visit the shrine of Raheem Sopori, which is in the Arampura, and this locality is called as the Teli Mohalla. And on 13th of July, 2023 last year is a usual day of his Urs, and it was being celebrated after long 62 years. So now they have decided that on every 13th of July we'll be celebrating his Urs. So next will be in this year in the July of 13th. So my humble request would be whenever you make visit to Sopor, do come to these places, seek the blessings and feel the spirituality, and do take the path in celebrating their Urs, who we are responsible for shaping the real identity of Kashmir, and that identity played a very good role in making Kashmir develop, peaceful and lovable. Thank you so much.
Chalo, thank you, sir. Shukriya.